Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing great. Thanks for coming back, or if you're new here, welcome. Hope you like what you see. In this tutorial, I'm going to make a skirt pattern, a pencil skirt pattern with dart. To make this, you're going to need a big paper, marker, scissors, ruler, and measuring tape. Also, you're going to need some measurements, your waist measurement, your hip measurement, the length of your skirt. Yeah, that's about it. Are you ready to learn something new, maybe? Let's get into it. So, I've made my starting line, which will also be my waist line. Then I'm going to mark the length of my skirt. I'm just making dots so it's easier, I can make a nice straight line. My skirt length is 21 inches. Just go draw that and cut it. So that's the paper I'm going to need for the front pattern. That's my waist. W for waist. Then I'm going to find my hip line, which is 9 inches from my waist. So the distance between my waist and my hip is 9 inches, which is 9 inches for most people. That's the general measurement. Right, we're going to mark quarter of my waist measurement plus 1 inch, and that 1 inch will be for our dart later. My waist measurement is 35 inches, so taking quarter of 35 inches. Then my hip measurement is 45 inches. Quarter of that plus half an inch seam allowance, just for ease. But if you would like your skirt really fitted, you don't need to add the half an inch ease. So for the length, where the length mark is, I'm just going to place my hip measurement. I'm using my armhole curve to do this part. It doesn't make sense. Don't do this. Get hip curve ruler to do this, or even draw a straight line and make a curve around the hip area. But from the hip to the skirt length, you're just going to draw a straight line. Well, connect the markings with a straight ruler. Now I want my skirt tapered, so I'll be taking 1.5 inches away. You can take between 1 and 2 inches. If you have curves, then definitely a taper skirt would be much better. So if you're curvy, you can take up to 2 inches. Or if you like, you can leave it straight. It's up to you. But I think a tapered look looks nicer. So on the waist measurement, we're going to find the midpoint. Then from there, we're going to mark 4 inches downwards. Just make a dot and then draw a straight line. .4 inch. Now we're going to measure half an inch on each side of the line. Okay, and just connect that, which will give you the upside down triangle. And that's our dart and our front pattern ready. So just cut out the pattern, and we're going to use our front pattern to cut out the back pattern, but you just don't place it on the back on the paper straight away. I'm going to show you, because we're going to add a 1 inch seam allowance, 1 inch zipper allowance for the back. Only if you're not going to add the zipper to your skirt, then you could just use the front pattern just to trace it like that. But because I'm going to add the zipper to my skirt, as the fabric that I'm going to use is not a stretchy fabric, and yeah, so I'm marking 1 inch. Ignore the other markings. I'm using old pattern paper. I've already made markings on it before, but we made 1 inch zipper allowance from the edge of the paper, and we just draw a straight line. Okay, oops, even with a ruler, so that's the 1 inch. You can see 1 inch from the edge of the paper, and you're just going to place your pattern. That's the front pattern. I'm using the front camera on my phone, so that's why everything is backwards. I'm just pinning my front pattern on the paper and then marking where my hip the length of my skirt is. I'm just going to trace the front pattern on the back paper. As you can see, when I place my pattern on the paper, I placed it on where the line is and not at the edge of the paper, so not covering up the zipper allowance. Right, so now we're just going to connect, draw a solid line. I made dots, it's easier that way, and just connect the hip to the skirt length. And that you can just freestyle it like so. Okay, trim that off, and there you have it. Now we need to do our darts. So from that line, remember that line, you find your midpoint on the waist line. We're doing the same thing we did at the front. The only difference is that the back dart, we're going to mark 5 inches downwards instead of 4 inches. Connect the dots as we did at the front. I put everything in my mouth, that's a bad habit. And then mark 1/2 inch on each side and just connect as per usual. I hope you're finding this tutorial straightforward. Comment below, let me know. And yeah, that's the pattern ready. That's the back and that's the front pattern. So when you're cutting your fabric, using your pattern to cut your fabric, you're going to the front pattern, make sure you fold your fabric. As you can see, I'm just writing fold, so you fold your fabric and then place your pattern on it. The back pattern, you cut 2 of those. You don't need to fold your fabric because you're going to be adding zip to it anyway. Also, don't forget to add your seam allowance at the sides. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Take care.